Hey guys, welcome back to your next video for Unit 4, and we've been working a lot with the slope-intercept form of a linear equation, and here you can see it in red on the screen. It's y equals mx plus b. I feel like we've been working with this form long enough. You guys should be pretty good at it by now. However, in this lesson, what I'm going to show you is that sometimes linear equations are not in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to show you that you can rearrange or rewrite some linear equations. You can kind of manipulate them and change the order of the equation around a little bit so that it is in the form y equals mx plus b, which, as we well know, is our favorite form for a linear equation because it tells you the slope of your line and it also gives you your y-intercept, right, which means it's super easy to graph. So again, this is all about rewriting a linear equation so that it is in our favorite form, slope-intercept form. So again, as you can see on the screen here, we're going to be rearranging the equation to get into this format of y equals mx plus b. So this is always going to be the goal, well, at least for today. We're trying to rearrange these equations to be y equals mx plus b. I feel like I've said that 1,000 times already. So here's our first example, and this one's already been done. So the original equation they give you says y minus 3 equals 1/2 x. And you're probably looking at that and thinking, goodness, that doesn't look anything like y equals mx plus b. But I'll tell you what, it's not far off. The question number one is the y on the left-hand side? Yes, it is. It's right there. Then I see this minus 3. This guy is definitely out of place. He does not belong on the left-hand side. So you can see that that red arrow is showing that is actually the term that's going to need to bounce to the other side. That needs to move to the right side of the equal sign. So then we have our equal sign right there, and he's in a good position. And I see I've got my 1/2 x, right? That's your slope attached to your x, and that's right where it should be. So if you look, it's really not all that bad. We just have to move that minus 3 piece from the left side over to the right. So let's remember, how do you move something from one side of an equation to the other side of an equation? You do the opposite, right? So instead of subtracting 3, you're going to add 3 on the left and add 3 on the right. So that would essentially cancel the negative 3 and positive 3 out. That would cancel on the left side. So if you were to move that 3 over to the right, you now have y equals 1/2 x plus 3, or y equals mx plus b, right? Do you remember now what the y-intercept is? Y-intercept is positive 3. And what would the slope of this line be? 1/2. And in a few minutes, we're going to practice graphing again, how you plot that y-intercept and drive that slope. Let's try a few more here. Let's look at example number 1. Y equals negative 1, or sorry, y minus negative 1 equals 2x. So do you see who's not in the right spot? This guy. Right? He needs to bounce and land over here. That's technically your y-intercept, and he's in the wrong spot. So how do you get rid of a minus 1? You add 1, or plus 1. So again, that would cancel. This kind of takes us back to our days of solving equations, doesn't it? Now I have y equals, there's your 2x, right? There's your slope attached to your x. And now there's that plus 1 that you moved. That's your intercept. So y equals 2x plus 1. Good. So it's really not that bad, is it? No. No, it's not. Number 2, who's in the wrong spot? This guy. That's who. Where does he need to be? He's the intercept. He belongs over here on the right side. So instead of subtract 4, you would add 4. That would cancel out. Y equals negative 1x plus 4. What's your intercept? Positive 4. What's your slope? Negative 1 over 1. Okay? So far, so good. Let's keep going with number 3. Who's moving? This guy. Where should he be? Way over here. How do you get rid of a plus 2? Minus 2. Right? Cancel those. Y is alone. There's your equal sign. Here's your slope. There's your x, and now you've got a minus 2. Intercept of negative 2, slope of 4/5. Cool. Let's keep going. Number 4, who's moving? I think you know by now. It's this guy. Where should he be? Way over here in his position of the B position or the intercept position. So instead of add 3, you subtract 3 or minus 3. Canceling there. Y is alone. There's your equal sign. Here comes your slope. There's the x, and there's your intercept. Intercept there of -3, slope of -2/7. So it looks terrible, but it's really not that bad. So now, let's see if you can rearrange and graph. Rearrange and graph. Number 1, who's in the wrong spot? That 2. So you're going to add 2 here, add 2 there. Y equals 3 over 1x plus 2. All right, so, you know what? Well, I'm sad that I did that in blue. I wish I had done that in red because I like to color code. You know how I am about color coding. So let's look at the answer we just got. Y equals 3 over 1x plus 2. What's the intercept? This is the intercept, +2. So you put a dot here where +2 is. And now we need to go back and drive our slope. Our slope is 3 over 1. That would mean we're going up 3, right 1, up 3, right 1. Up 3, right 1 lands here. Or I can send my car in reverse. In reverse my directions, go down 3, left 1, and down 3, left 1. And graph this beautiful blue line that I actually wish was red. Then it would match number 1. So maybe what you do is put a number 1 there. So we know that that line is actually the line for number 1. Okay, let's do number 2 and be done with this. I'm looking there at the equation they give, and I see that it's definitely not in the right order, and who's out of place? This guy. So we're going to move him by subtracting 1. Y equals -4/3 x minus 1. What's your intercept? -1. Where's that? Right there. What's your slope? -4/3. That means down 4, right 3. So from your intercept, you go down 4, right 3, or you can send it in reverse and go up 4, left 3. Either way, you should end up with a nice straight line, something like this, and we'll label that as the line for question number 2. All right? So this is something you're only going to spend 1 day practicing in class because, I don't know, it's just not all that tough, right? So I'll see you in class and be ready to rewrite and rearrange some linear equations.